First, let's go to Phil.
David Ruderman brings his leading car in the pits, the Tums Toyota. This probably will be the last pit stop. No changes in 4 tires, Marty.
Jeff Gordon pitting at the same time from the second position. He said, really what I want is a little bit more security at the beginning of the run. They'll put another piece of tape on the grill and make an air pressure and a wedge adjustment, trying to get the car a little bit loosened up off the corner, Matt.
And our pole sitter, Jimmy McMurray, trying to do something he's never done, and that's win from the pole. But Kevin Mannion going to have to make a significant adjustment. The car just way too free. Meanwhile, the 14 of Tony Stewart, back to school pace scheme, trying to get back to victory lane. Adjustments across the back, both track bar and wedge. The car just gets tighter as the run goes on, Ralph.
53-car Clint Boyer stayed out, led a lap, got those 5 bonus points. Now they're going to go up a half a round on the track bar. This should be the adjustment that he's hoping for to maybe go after that win that he felt like he should have had just a week ago at Daytona. Casey Kane coming in. That car has had some major adjustments to him this week. They've been working on that car, trying to get it just the way he's needed. They made wholesale changes on it. 4 tires and fuel for him, Matt.
Carl Edwards making his way down to his pit stall for Bob Osborne to fix his race car. It's now on the tight side, but there was a window where he said the car was almost perfect, and then it slowly started to go tight. A slight chassis adjustment expected for the 99 of Edwards. Ralph?
Martin Truex is in. They're going to take 4 tires and fuel, make a track bar adjustment on this car. That's going to be it for him, and he's ready to get underway.
Mark Martin flirting with the top 10 on that run. Ralph, car just a little bit too loose for Mark. They're going to go down a half round on the track bar, trying to tighten it up just a little bit. Also an air pressure adjustment for this 5 car. They need just a little bit, Mark said, and maybe they can get to the top 5, top 10.
Scheduled green flag pit stops. Elliott Sadler, one of the last of those to come down pit road and get his service. See top of your screen, 32 laps to go. Everyone is in their window to be able to go the distance from here. Montoya has not pitted yet, so he is the race leader. When it cycles through, Ruderman will be at the lead of the pack, Phil.
And he is reporting that he has a pretty significant vibration. Rodney Childers, crew chief, jumped up. All the tire guys gave him a thumbs up, saying that we had all the tires and all the wheels tight. So right now, David Ruderman is fighting a vibration.
And now the service for Montoya, who comes in with 32 to go, Ralph.
Well, and Adam, they had glued a spacer on that left rear. Remember, it was just about falling off the car. So they're only going to be able to change right side tires. That left rear is literally glued on the 42.
As the leaders cross the start-finish line after the cycle of stops, David Ruderman's advantage over second place Jeff Gordon, 3.2 seconds. Top 4 drivers in tonight's race looking for their first win of 2010. It's going to get good down the stretch.
Secret.
Welcome back to NASCAR on TNT, Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. Closing on the finish here. David Ruderman is the race leader. 4th different driver to lead here tonight. And while we were in break, Scott Speed with an interesting moment coming off of turn 4. Just missed the commitment cone. But because of where he was in relation to the track, no caution. He was able to get into his pit stall, and we stay green. Speed was running 19th when he got turned around. Elliott Sadler racing hard to stay on the lead lap. He's in 22nd right now. And the new man in second place is Carl Edwards.
Yeah, Carl's been running some pretty good lap times compared to Ruderman. I mean, he's just as fast, but unfortunately he's about 3 seconds behind the leader, so it's going to be hard to run him down.
With 23 to go, let's go through the field. We start with Phil Parsons.
You know, Adam, I reported that David Ruderman had a significant vibration. I just jumped up on the pit box, crew chief Rodney Childers said he thought maybe that was low air pressure when they put these tires on. As the air pressure builds up, that vibration goes away. David has not mentioned it since that initial time, Matt.
Carl Edwards runs in the second position, trying to end a long winless streak, not only for himself, but get his owner, Jack Roush, Roush Fenway Racing, a victory here in Chicagoland. Says the car is down on the nose and really good on the throttle, Marty.
Well, Matt, we talked about how Jeff Gordon wants to focus on wins. Currently, they have 0. They want bonus points for the chase. But this will be, yet again, another solid top 5 if Gordon can finish here. In fact, his 5th straight top 5, their best streak of the season, Ralph.
Marty, they made a half-round adjustment on the track bar. They went up on that track bar, and now the car is just too loose for Clint Bowyer to get up there and challenge Jeff Gordon, Edwards, or Rudiman, for that matter, Matt.
The goal going in was to capitalize on the pole with a victory. Another one for Daytona 500 champion Jamie McMurray in the 1 car. But what they have done is turned in a solid performance. You look back to last year. He's working on his 5th top 5 finish, guys, this season. He only had 1 in all of 2009.
In Countdown to Green earlier tonight, Larry McReynolds said the trend here, multiple cautions late. Right now it's green, and race leader David Rudiman hopes it stays that way.
I'm telling.
No, I'm not doing it.
Inside of 20 laps to go in the Lifelock.com 400 from Chicagoland Speedway. David Rudiman continues to lead his advantage over second place Carl Edwards. 2 seconds. The 99 is on the move. Fan, let's check in with Larry McReynolds and get the rankings of tonight's fastest pit crew. What do you got, Larry?
Adam, it was kind of a tough choice because these guys have been pretty flawless on pit road tonight. My #1 pick would be that Rodney Childers number 00. Get them about another 14 laps. They'll get their 2nd win. Of course, their 1st win was that rain short win at Charlotte Motor Speedway last May. In the 2nd position, how about Bob Osborne at 99 team? They only have 1 top 5 finish this year. That was back at Richmond when they finished 5th. And Shane Wilson in that 33 group, if they can hold on in the 4th position for about 14 more laps, they will leave here in the top 12.
Thank you, Larry. And fans, your vote counts each week, so be sure to text the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. The AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year Award, brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network.
You know, Edwards is catching them a little bit, and I think a lot of it has to do with these guys are trying to stay on the lead lap. Yeah. Some of these cars that Rudiman is coming on. Now, when Edwards get to those guys, they don't have as much trouble because they're already a lap or 2 down. But they're going to fight the leader, and that sometimes a little bit is what, you know, all Edwards needs. He's picking off a 10th or 2 every single lap.
And another thing is, these guys that he's coming up the lap, the 78 car, the 2 car of Kurt Busch, they're not used to David Rudiman leading. Okay, they think David Rudiman's just coming. They're not sure he's a, you know, I know the spotters are saying he's a leader, but they're not used to this guy leading. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to give their pit crew. I loved what Larry just said, some of that. I'm going to give these guys, Rudiman's pit crew, a huge shout out, because when you get in this position for the first time, and really this is one of the first times that Rudiman's had a shot at really winning a race like this, you got to perform under pressure. These guys, you know, the pit crew's not been in this position any more than Rudiman has. So the whole team is in this position, and they all kind of rose to the occasion. Shout out to the pit crew on that stop.
Talk about scary moments. Rudiman trying to put Regan Smith a lap down, and Smith touches the wall.
That's you don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
David's turning left. He's not paying any attention to what that 78 car is doing.
And Rudiman's now gone around Kurt Busch, who is now 2 laps down to the leader.
And you know, and Smith, he's running in the 19th spot.
Yeah.
So like I said, these guys are running as hard as they can to try to stay on that lead lap.
Some interesting names inside the top 10 tonight. Talk about Rudiman, talk about Carl Edwards. You know, Clint Bowyer needs to be there. McMurray has done a solid job all night. And Denny Hamlin now just starting to surface. He's 8th in the late going.
Yeah. He's 8th with 10 laps to go, you know, and that's not characteristic. That's not a characteristic that you see from the Gibbs team. These guys are leading this thing with 8 or 10 laps to go. How sideways was that 00 car?
That's what I thought. It looked like he got a little sideways off the floor.
Which shows he's just still driving the wheels off of it.
He's still sideways right there.
He is still driving. He knows he's got to make some time because he knows they're telling him, just like Wally's been talking about Carl's there. They're telling him that, you know, you slip a little bit, Carl's going to be on you. And we've seen Carl, what he'll do on the last lap. He'll just run it in next to the wall and stand on it wide open to win a race.
The last time around, 1.8 seconds was the advantage for David Rudiman. It's up to 2.1 as you see the distance from first back to second. Carl Edwards.
It's going to be really, really hard to run that down unless you get stuck behind a slower car. I mean, you can lose a half a second in one corner if you get into some traffic and it doesn't work out for you. See how the